Hey guys, it's Vanir, and today I want to talk about the documentary Dominion. I've watched it yesterday. It's an exactly 2 hours long, documentary about how we use animals. Specifically, it's about how animals are used in Australia, but it also has, footage and parts from other countries like China and also I think like America and so on. But honestly, it really is more or less the same in most countries nowadays. So yeah, I gotta say it was the longest 2 hour long movie that I've ever watched. It was very emotionally draining in a way, I suppose. Like there's a lot of emotions that come up. Mostly of course sadness and anger, because it's just absolutely brutal, because it shows what's going on and what's the rule and the norm and not the exception. And I felt like I really had to watch it because I want to help grow this movement. I want to help make society vegan so that we hopefully don't even need this annoying label. Sometimes it just annoys me, honestly, to just vegan. I mean, obviously it makes sense for us to use it right now, but I guess what I want to say is just I'm looking forward to the day where we can just forget about the label vegan, and it's just so, baseline, so common, this just lifestyle of reducing harm, like cutting out the unnecessary harm, that we just don't need that label anymore. But anyway, I'm digressing. So like I said, I want to help grow this movement, and I feel like I should be able to say that I have seen it with my own eyes, what's happening to animals. And I have seen short clips, but I was always like the kind of person who got really emotionally involved when seeing this kind of stuff, and I always kind of tried to watch as little as possible of this kind of footage. But again, I want to be able to say I've seen it with my own eyes. I want to be able to describe what's actually going on, and so I felt like I had to watch it, and it was definitely a good idea. First of all, it really fueled my desire. Not that I don't have desire or that I have little desire to, advocate for veganism effectively, but just all this emotion, it kind of makes you want to do more and faster, more stuff, and just put it out faster and so on. Be more effective. So alone for that reason, it was a very good decision for me to watch it. And I also have to say that while it was extremely tough for me to watch, it was a lot less scarring, mentally scarring, than over a year ago when I watched just like 2 minutes of footage. Because since then I've been more into veganism, I've debated people in comments or in whatever, and also sometimes in a bit of voice chat here and there. But just in general, I think it's more present in my mind what's going on each and every day. So I was a bit more prepared mentally. But still, it's absolutely horrifying. And I really gotta say at this point, if you don't watch it, and I want to get at that later, that I want you to watch it, but if you don't watch it, then at least get other people who are not vegan yet to watch it, and maybe pay the few cents or bucks for them to watch it. It costs, well, like I said, a few cents or a few to rent, or a few bucks to buy, like $5 I think to buy the movie, which is absolutely worth it. I did it, and I recommend you do it too, because it supports the makers of the documentary. I feel like I lost a bit my train of thought. I guess let's just continue with the next point, because so far I think I mostly talked about how it made me feel, how I used to feel about this kind of stuff, and that I recommend the movie. Maybe I just want to talk a little bit about what I learned from watching the movie, and that is about how easy it is for people to detach from reality, to be desensitized to this horror that's going on. For one, when you watch the clips and you see the workers there, they have obviously they show no compassion towards those animals, and they kick them, they hit them, they abuse them horribly. And I mean, this is kind of like self-explanatory. Even if they wouldn't kick them and, you know, do all these horrible things that don't belong to their job, it's still abuse, because all that's happening, like inherently happening in this kind of industry, factory farming and so on, it's all abuse, right? But anyway, so they are very abusive in all sorts of ways, and they seem very sociopathic about it too, oftentimes. Of course, they show those clips in a movie, but it just makes sense that this is what's going on more often than not. That they not just not show any empathy, but also just, again, I repeat myself, abuse them physically, also verbally, and even laugh about the animals being killed, laugh about them suffering. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't try to describe it so much, just watch for yourself. And what I want to get at with all this is that people get desensitized, and it's very obvious that it's because it's a coping mechanism. Every person wants to be a good person. Every person does not want to be a bad person. So the way, you know, we deal with this kind of stuff is, if we do something and we feel like we have to continue doing it, is it because of, you know, survival, like that's the only job we have or whatever, or if it's because we feel pressured into it by family, like society in general. If we feel like we have to do something, and even though deep down we know it's a horrible thing, we have to justify it to ourselves. So we either make us the victims, like suddenly we are the victims, or the others are the villains, or they are scum. In this case, the animals are treated as scum that don't deserve any better. And well, it's very obvious that those people working there, it's a coping mechanism. And it's the same as, you know, that happens in societies where maybe people discriminate against ethnicities, or just against any group of people, you know, homosexuals, people of a certain skin color, people with certain beliefs, or in war where, you know, people go into because they feel like, you know, there's no other way, and in their minds the other people are the scum, they are the villain, they deserve what's coming, they don't deserve any compassion and so on. It's just like the way people work when they feel trapped in a situation that naturally they wouldn't want to be in, but they have to cope with. And of course we also see this in comment sections, right? Like in YouTube comment sections, when people are confronted with inconvenient, uncomfortable facts, or just, you know, just footage and so on, people get very defensive, they get very aggressive. They say stuff that seems very psychopathic or sociopathic, whatever. Because it's easier to do that than to admit that maybe they have done horrible things. Of course, not most of the time, not willingly or not consciously, but they have done it. So, you know, it's easier to justify by saying like they weren't right for whatever twisted reason than to just admit what they did is not great and they should probably change it and so on. And also, and that was very interesting for me, while watching I noticed how I got a bit more detached from those things, because like I said, it was very emotional. I was very angry, I was very mad, sad, just all these, you know, strong emotions coming up. I also cried a bit, not gonna lie, at a few parts, but I try to observe myself too, and many times like my emotional involvement got less, and I could really feel while observing myself when I, you know, got aware of that it was just a coping mechanism, because it's mental distress and I don't want to be in that mental distress. So my mind is just trying to not get as involved emotionally. So still, of course, this is horrible and it's very tough to watch, but I can see how humans actually quite easily get to a point where they seem very lacking of empathy, right? It's just really easy to get desensitized, to a small degree at least, and if the more extreme the situation, the more people will get desensitized, especially if they grow up with these beliefs. Everyone tells them this is all right, they don't deserve any better, you know, indoctrination, right? Again, it all comes down to coping mechanism, because I am absolutely certain that in our natural state, we don't want to cause unnecessary harm. We don't want anyone to suffer. We don't want animals to suffer, no matter which animal it is. But growing up in this world, it seems like there is no way to not cause certain types of really insane harm. And it's everyone justifies it for us, so it's easy to go along. But yeah, really what we have to do is we have to show this, we have to talk with people, we have to show this movie and like other movies like Earthlings and Land of Hope and Glory to people, debate them, approach them in any sort of way, show them how tasty vegan food is. We just have to get the message out there, because we just have to find ways to lower like this defensive barrier of people, because I am sure deep down everyone wants to avoid harm. Everyone wants to be compassionate. That's what we are deep down. That's why the industries hide what's going on. That's why they hide behind these terms of humane slaughter, humane practices, free range and so on. And yeah, we really all just have to try to do our best to get this message out there. I'm sure we can make the world vegan and eventually abandon this stupid term veganism. I will continue to use it because right now it serves us, but I'm just really again looking forward to the day we don't need this term anymore. And that's pretty much it. I feel like this video is extremely long, way too long already, so I really should close it off. For the movie, again, please watch it. It's very hard to watch for most people, I think for pretty much all people, but it can give you like more determination to be more effective in getting the word out there. And again, you can say you have seen it, and I feel like that's a very strong place to come from in conversations with people. And even if you don't watch it, recommend it to others, okay? Spread the word about Dominion, it's a great movie. And to close off this video, to all my patrons, I know I say it all the time, but I really mean it. Thank you so much. Without you, I couldn't be doing this to the extent that I'm doing. Like I said, I'm working on a big project right now, every day of course. The animation or animation-like video will come. It's very long, probably like 20 to 25 minutes. Not sure when it will come, but I'm working on it, and also I will put out a couple of other videos in the meantime. And if you want to help me spend more time on this channel, feel free to become a patron. It's much appreciated. It helps me out tremendously. But of course, no pressure. Thank you all so much for watching, for commenting, liking, sharing my videos and so on. And I wish you a very nice day, and I see you in my next video. Bye bye.